Let's talk about who's really building the future of real estate. Because right now, the rules for how we buy, sell, and even build our homes are being totally rewritten. And it's not by people, it's by two massive invisible forces: a giant ocean of new money and the artificial intelligence that's telling that money exactly where to go. It all starts with this number: $1.5 trillion. I mean, just try to wrap your head around that. It's a figure so big, it's almost imaginary. You can think of it like a new financial ocean, one that's been quietly rising for years. And now, it's starting to completely reshape coastlines we all thought were permanent. Okay, I know, it sounds super abstract, but this invisible ocean of money has everything to do with real estate, whether you're flipping a single house or trying to finance a brand new skyscraper. So let's connect the dots. First things first, we need to understand this new financial universe we're living in. It's all built around a term you're going to start hearing everywhere: private credit. Basically, think of it as lending that happens completely outside of the normal banking system. You could call it Wall Street without the actual street. And what we're seeing is a huge changing of the guard. You know, traditional banks, they're getting tangled up in new regulations, so they're pulling back. And who's rushing in to fill that gap? Yep, private credit funds, offering super flexible financing because, well, they're playing by a whole different set of rules. And the sheer scale of this takeover is just wow. Look at this growth. What was a tiny niche market just exploded into a $1.5 trillion powerhouse, and it's expected to more than double in just the next 4 years. This isn't just some trend, you guys. This is a tidal wave of capital. So we've got this massive new pool of money. But how in the world is it getting put to work so fast? Well, that brings us to the second force we talked about: AI, and how it's completely transforming real estate. For so long, the day-to-day of real estate has been a real grind. I mean, you can just feel the frustration in this post from someone in the business. Finding leads, following up, it's a never-ending struggle. But things are changing, and they're changing fast. Here's another person who found the answer. See, AI isn't just some tech buzzword anymore. For the folks actually doing the work, it's becoming an absolutely essential tool. It's a game changer. And we're not talking about one magic app here. It's a whole new toolkit powered by AI. We've got algorithms that can predict where the market's headed, chatbots that answer questions at 3 in the morning, and virtual tours so realistic you feel like you're standing in the living room. Literally every part of the process is getting faster and a whole lot smarter. Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. This is the core of the whole transformation, where that new money finally meets the new tech. And here's where it all clicks into place. That ocean of private credit we just talked about, that's the fuel. And that AI toolkit, that's the engine. You put them together, and you get this brand new machine that is totally remaking how we finance real estate. So forget the old way of doing things with stacks and stacks of paper. The new path to a loan is digital and incredibly fast. You apply online in a few minutes. Then, an AI looks at the risk, but it's focused on the property's actual value, the loan-to-value, the after-repair value, not just your credit score. And the result? You get your funding in days, not months. In this new world, speed is everything. Honestly, what we're watching is this massive power shift. The influence is moving away from those familiar old-school names in traditional banking, and it's flowing directly to a whole new generation of financial players. These alternative asset managers, they're the ones dominating the field now. Now, anytime you have this much change happening this fast, with this much money flying around, one big question always pops up. Who is actually in charge here? And that question has kicked off a global race to write the new rules. Because let's be real, with all this new power comes some very real risks. You know, can an algorithm be biased? Of course. How do you make sure things are fair when a decision is made inside a technological black box? These are the tough questions that regulators are now scrambling to answer. And you can see just how fast they're trying to play catch-up. For years, all this talk about AI rules was, well, just talk. But look at the timeline. Notice how things just explode after 2022. All the major world powers are now sprinting from just having principles to making actual policy, trying to get out ahead of the tech for once. But nobody's using the same playbook. The EU is going big with its landmark AI Act. It's this huge risk-based approach. The US, on the other hand, is being more targeted, using things like executive orders to guide agencies that already exist. It's really a global patchwork of different ideas on how to govern all this new power. And right here in the U.S. mortgage market, we are seeing some very real action. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, has laid down some serious new rules just for these AI models. They're demanding transparency, testing, and making sure everything complies with anti-discrimination laws. The message is pretty clear. Go ahead and innovate, but you better do it responsibly. So, after all that, where does this leave us? What is this new world of real estate actually going to look and feel like? Well, one thing's for sure. The old mantra of location, location, location is officially a thing of the past. The story of real estate today is really about three different things: capital, code, and control. And that leaves us with one final and I think really crucial question. As all this money and all this code continue to merge together, the very foundations of our homes and cities are being rebuilt. The question isn't if things will change, the question is who gets to be the architect?